Okay, hey everyone, we're back with another AI conversation, and I'm very happy to have with me today is Father Benigno Beltran, who's actually, I don't know if you'll agree with this, Father, no, but you're already making a name for yourself with the mission you're doing in terms of educating out of school youths with AI. Pero sige, before we get to that, could you briefly give us a background? What's the learning situation now, no, and that has triggered basically your mission, on using AI and educating out of school youth?
Okay, I belong to the Society of the Divine Word. That's a Catholic religious organization of priests and brothers. We're in 70 countries. We are more than 6,000 missionaries. And in the Philippines, voted unanimously, because we have 2 universities and 9 colleges and several high schools, Doc. We voted unanimously that non-formal education should be part of our ministry. So I'm duty bound to look after the out of school youth. And as the statistics show, there are 10 million, more or less, young Filipinos 15 to 29 years old who have not finished high school.
Wow.
That's not counting the 30 years old and above.
Who are not fully educated, we're saying.
Who have not finished high school.
High school education.
Yeah.
And then what is this obviously this phenomena is not something that happened overnight, no? Matagal na ito.
Matagal na ito. But what is new is that I have been in this ministry for 3 decades or more.
Yep.
What I noticed is that before it was poverty mostly, and now, according to the PIDS statistics, more and more kids are not enrolling because they are not interested in going to school. And there was a statistics in the United States, 80% of young people there in high school are bored to death out of their ears. And in fact, there was a study that they placed functional MRI in the brains of kids, and the results showed that the brain activity of the high school kids was more when they are asleep than when they were in the classroom. Imagine.
Is this also conflated with malnutrition, or we're also talking about generally well-nourished children anyway, pero talagang ayaw nang pumasok?
Ayaw na nilang pumasok, Doc, dahil they are more interested in playing video games. So that's one of my ministries also. I'm attending competitions of Mobile Legends.
And other Mobile Legends.
So they think they could become millionaires if they become champion in video. So why do they spend their time in boring classrooms when they could play games, and if they reach epic 5 stars or mythic legend, they could become global stars, and that's their value now, not the diploma. Theirs is how many stars they have as Mobile Legends or Valorant or Genshin Impact or whatever games they are into.
Okay. So in terms of interventions, no, I understand you're basically using artificial intelligence, or at least one of the things you're using is AI. Can you talk a little bit about that? When did that start? Has it been effective? Mga ganyan, no? Kasi I've seen some of your posts in our common group. Marami kang sinishare doon, no? So how did that go about?
I noticed the kids, they have become digital natives. Now they have a different view of the world now. So I innovated on a new theory of learning, Doc. That's where it all started.
Okay.
That you could not just memorize stuff. You could not have a pedagogy that transfer information merely because they are different kids. Proof. Out of school youth enrolled in the ALS program, I will talk about that later. I would just like to prove that the digital natives have different skills now. Okay? So, 40 kids enrolled in the DepEd ALS. I'm working with the DepEd closely.
So itong
And
ALS,
then,
Father, explain mo muna ng konti. What is this ALS program so people know?
Okay, alternative learning system, the DepEd, to their credit, also wanted to reach out to those who are not enrolled in the formal and they stopped going to school. So they have the alternative learning system. And they gave me a grant through the DAP-ALS-EST to digitize the module. So we have modules now, though, available that have animations and video games and gamification. Our kids, only us, of course, our kids are even dissecting the human heart using Oculus Quest 2 in Smoky Mountain. But the start of that is that I was using the traditional thing. You print the modules and then the many drop out. So I innovated on a new theory of learning, and I think it's there's no scientific proof yet, but I think, as I said, Minecraft Education Edition, we're using that. Okay?
Minecraft,
We have
okay.
the hour of code, and 40 of our kids, our young people, joined late last year. No introduction at all. They do not know coding. They do not know JavaScript or C++, whatever. They join. In 5 days, Doc, our kids wrote 11,444 lines of code. And they will get nosebleed if you will let them read from an ordinary book. The reading comprehension in that context will be very low. We're number 79 out of 79 countries in reading comprehension, according to the PISA report. So I woke up. These are different species of human beings already. You know, they could play video games. The teacher said they have attention deficit syndrome. That's not true. If they can play Minecraft and World of Warcraft and Legends, Mobile Legends until 2 o'clock in the morning, even beyond, they do not have attention deficit. They have attention deficit if you are a boring teacher. And then second, I also gave them new Cherry Mobile. You know how to gain the kids' love, Doc. You know, so I asked my friends in the Ayala Alabang. They gave me 100 new Cherry Mobile tablets. Okay,
So they have a
so
device for themselves.
For themselves, yeah, so that they could study at home because we do not have as many hours of study as the formal. But our digital modules are available 24/7. They could study it on their own. So they use it for TikTok like that, you know. But I told them, okay, I have a partnership with IBM Skillsville. Okay, that's an online program, free. And you know what the subjects are, Doc? Introduction to AI, data analytics, cyber security, IT admin. And these are kids who will get nosebleed, if you will. They have stacks of micro-credentials from IBM Skillsville. No orientation, no introduction. I just sent them a message. This is the link to IBM Skillsville for micro-credentials. Those who will not obtain micro-credentials, babawiin ko yung bagong Cherry Mobile. They work for 20 hours in 3 days because you could see it in the learning management system of IBM. Oh, those are different kids. They will fail in the formal exams, but you let them lose maski anong bagay na digital, tapon mo sa kanila, they will catch it and bring it far. So, sabi ng Panginoon, you have to put new wine into new wine skins. Because if you put new wine into old wine skins, the wine skins will burst. And that is why The educational system is in a crisis now. It is bursting because they're using old pedagogies to teach digital natives who can write 11,444 lines of code.
So we're seeing here a very interesting, no, parang in the flesh, a new phenomena in terms of learning, and you're testing it out in the wild. How long have you been doing this? And I mean, just thinking out loud, how can we scale it? No, kasi nga you talking about a class of 40. Certainly, there should be more. No.
We have about 80, 100 kids, but that's only for our learning innovation hub. Okay, so as I said, we were given a grant by
DepEd.
the DepEd to modules, digitize the modules using the new theory of learning that I innovated, where learning is already the convergence of DIWA. DIWA. DIWA in Tagalog daw, damdamin, isip, wika, and adhika. For me, learning is the convergence of damdamin, the affective dimension, which is very important for the psychology of learning. We are not computers. Second, cognitive dimension, which also includes systems thinking and design thinking. Third is wika. That means you belong to a society. You have a culture. Your values are shaped by the culture you are in and the language you speak. Your behavior is guided by the culture. And then adhika, the new social scientific understanding of a human being in a evolving world, is that our intentions, our dreams shape what we learn also. So convergence of DIWA, of the cognitive, the affective, and the cultural, and the intentional aspect. So for me, D is damdamin, I is isip, W is wika, A is both alaala and adhika, which shapes what we learn and how we learn, because our bodies, our brain are connected to our bodies. The microbiomes in your stomach will influence whether you learn or not. So that's what we're talking about, scaling up. So right now we're working so that, for example, 12, 14 divisions are already agreed to have their teachers trained in the new theory of learning, and then orient the kids on how to use the digital modules with many features already of AI. And so I'm inviting the superintendents of the Cordillera Autonomous Region. And out of 8 regions of out of eight divisions, already 5 has agreed. I will, after this, I will invite the other 3 so that we could bring Starlink there. No. And then the pilot will have connectivity, and then we'll see to it that the kids have access to digital devices. Then they will use our modules digitized according to the convergence theory of learning. And then later on, once we are finished, we're making an AI-powered learning experience platform. It's called the DIWA Learning Experience Platform. It's made by my friends in Salt Lake City. So we hope that we can scale this up, because we have to have new wine skins for the new wine that can write 11,444 lines of code in 5 days.
So for this, Father, just so to help the audience visualize it, itong mga out of school youth, what are the average ages of the youth that go into the program that you have right now?
22 to 26, around that.
Okay.
1/3 of them have families already. Okay. And the graduates we have, just to tell everybody, 5 of our graduates will soon be employed by an IT company that specializes in cybersecurity.
Okay. 22 to 26. So these are
Years old.
basically would have been fresh grads, no? If you think about it, no?
In college.
In college, no?
Mhm.
And then the skills that they have undergone, obviously programming, cyber, AI. Have they also studied AI development, mga ganyan?
They could get micro credentials on introduction to AI from IBM Skillsbit.
Okay. Okay. And then it's good to hear now you already have an initial batch of recruits, no? Because obviously the correlation here will also be employment. We can provide alternative learning, digital learning. Tapos mukhang the absorption is quite impressive. We could be generating jobs, no, at this level, which would, groundbreaking.
So, I'm talking to a Rotary Club. They have our works. It's a placement thing that will network the skills that our kids have with the needs of the corporate world.
Mm. And then the credentials, yun na yun. They don't need a high school diploma. Obviously, they don't have a college diploma. Yun na yung ano natin, ang target natin. Like looking
Psychological na lang, Dok. Psychological na lang sa aking tingin na meron silang ilalagay doon sa kanilang barong-barong na nakagraduate sila ng DepEd, parang ganyan.
Okay. They have is that an ALS certificate? Parang lumalabas. Yeah. It's an equivalent to a high school diploma. Parang ganun.
Junior high school. Kasi
high school.
The head of the ALS National, Assistant Secretary G.H. Ambat, just gave us permission to offer senior high. So 2 years. Give me another 2 years with these kids and you could hire them at once in data analytics, cybersecurity, AI powered, something like that. And I'm praying that we can use in this school year, we're teaching English with ESL Tutor. It's an app powered by ChatGPT-4.
Yeah, talk about that. Parang the language skills.
Yeah, and then we have a 3D under beta, a 3D avatar that can teach kids. So our teachers are having identity crisis already, Doc, because they are not needed anymore. And then the avatar speaks Tagalog. Now, of course, we are teaching English. But if you ask her, I will ask the programmers to make her look like a Filipina teacher.
So parang nagiging language tutor siya. Parang language tutor, Tagalog to English.
English, reading, writing, grammar and diction. Could correct your pronunciation. So I did not pass, Doc, because I have a Visayan accent, very strong Visayan accent, you know. But if the ALS learner will say, please, I cannot understand what you said, kindly translate it to Tagalog. Tagalog, perfect.
Okay.
Balarila style Tagalog.
That's amazing. Kasi one of the possible outlets for this would be our contact center industry, who are also pressured to basically hire more people. Meron silang target to hire 1 million jobs net growth, no, over the next 5 years. Do you think these out-of-school youth could be contact center material at some point, given itong mga ganitong augmentation, if not programmers?
We have to know, Doc, what skills that cannot be done by the AI, because we're worried. We have 1.5 guys in the call centers, and I just heard that there was a CEO in our Viber group. There was an article, a CEO fired
sa India.
90% of his employees because AI can do their job. So my concern is using the new theory of learning that I'm proposing with the systems thinking already embedded from the start, from the get-go. Yep. And also design thinking, so that we can do jobs that generative AI and large language models cannot do. So somebody should tell me that, so that at the start we can teach them already. But I am proposing that our kids should have a new way of learning. There should be a new theory of learning. There should be a new educational philosophy that is based on the universe as evolving. It's not a static
Yeah.
universe. And then the kids have to be at home with uncertainty, because quantum physics tells us that at the very heart of reality is the uncertainty principle. So reality is now VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. We should teach our kids how to thrive in that, because it will be an increasingly AI dominated world. That's what I'm proposing.
Well, in theory, if they are gamers, psychologically they're prepared for that because they were in
Correct.
a game. You're supposed to adapt to changing circumstances.
Correct.
Kaya nga gamification is, I would say, untapped as a resource in education. We rarely see gamified learning at all. Kaya magandang, it's a good story that you're sharing, Father, no, that you've incorporated all of these elements.
I hope we can scale it up, Doc, kasi
Yeah,
nakakatakot pa rin. Madali kaming burahin dahil kaunti pa lang kami. But I think
exactly. Mm.
I have the pulse of the educational system all over the world. They're still following first industrial revolution pedagogies.
Principles,
No?
yeah. Oh, that's correct.
And then if they put computers, they will just use it for their first world pedagogies. The monitor or the interactive board will be used as their blackboard.
Yeah.
It's still the information transfer thing, which no longer works with kids who are content producers.
Yeah.
They dance all those TikTok things, and then they know how to edit it. They use Canva. Nobody teaches them. They just download from YouTube, like our guys who got micro credentials from IBM Skills Build. They do not understand. They download from YouTube, and then they will earn the micro credential. These are the kids now, and we look down on them because we judge them with first industrial pedagogy, revolution pedagogy. We're going into the fifth, for goodness sake. We're going into the fifth industrial revolution, and we are still using them, using first industrial revolution methods of teaching.
Yeah. In terms of apart from scale, what are the challenges? Let's say we start booting this up in the provinces and other regions. Just from your experience, what were there any hiccups or any stumbling blocks that we can learn from?
The first stumbling block is physical. If the DICT had put up 100,000 free Wi-Fi spots in the country, we will not be having problems with this. Second, the digital divide. The kids have those cheap phones, and sometimes our animated modules could not come out there very well. So there's two. But the main would be the DepEd and the CHED policymakers, and especially the teachers, should have a new mindset. They have to reinvent themselves, because the kids are already far out there, because they are on their cell phones 10 hours a day, and they learn a lot outside of the classroom. So this should not be judged on whether they memorize the history lessons that they had. They can Google that in 5 seconds flat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the proverbial fear of the calculator. Once upon a time, no, we were afraid of the calculator.
Correct. They were also afraid of the industrial machines when the first industrial revolution came. The Luddites destroyed the machines. They said it will keep us from being human.
Tsaka the printing press, tsaka the
Something
internet,
like that. Yeah, always.
everything, TV, all the way down to SMS was going to destroy the grammar of children.
Correct.
Wikipedia will never be as good as Britannica. Mga ganyan. Okay, sige. Scaling up. Here's the question. No? What kind of resources do we need? Do we all need to get an ALS grant? Is that something that can be done regionally, or should private sector step in? I'm just thinking out loud now. What are the things that we could do to base on this initial case study, which we actually could document pala. If you need help with that, I'd be more than happy
I
to
have
help.
to do research first, Doc, on the reliability and validity of what we are doing because it's totally new.
Sure.
But we can scale up easily. The problem lies between the ears of the educators.
Like what, teachers or school admins or
New
paano?
mindset. From the top of the DepEd and the CHED down to the teachers in Sultan Kudarat and Samar.
Yeah.
A new mindset. They have to re-engineer themselves. Otherwise, they will be consigned to the dung heaps of history.
Yeah. Maybe what about private schools? Mga privately run senior high schools. Baka that can be an option. I'm sure there's at least one in every region. If we can link up with them, show them what we've done here in your I would say your pilot, and if there's a grant in it for them now to apply for ALS recognition. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if that will work now, but baka we could get private owners to come in and help out.
Yeah, I just prayed this morning that if the 8 superintendents in the Cordillera Autonomous Region, because what's Manila? Manila is Imperial Manila, Doc. We have everything here, so I told the superintendent, I would like to prove that this system I'm trying, that has been approved by the ALS head, can be done in the mountains of the Cordillera because that's where many of our missionaries came. So may utang na loob din kami sa kanila na namatay na doon sa Africa, yung
Sure.
mga Kangkanae at saka Kalinga, serving Christ. This is my way of getting back. So I'm talking to Aboitis or whatever foundation that if we could place Starlink
Dish somewhere.
dishes in 8, then have a pilot there. So the guys in Cotabato will have no longer can say that that's good. It's in Manila, but wait, how about we? We succeeded in the Cordillera. We'll put the Starlink, and then we'll get second-hand digital devices to the kids. We prefer tablets, Doc, because if the screen is bigger, the
you have more information. And
So
the cherry tablet shouldn't be very expensive, right? Mga siguro 1,000 pesos or less pa yata yung isang tablet. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Now what my friends gave out was 8,000.
8,000 na tablet.
No, but we do not need those. We need only lower
low end.
That's why the kids were afraid that I will get them back. I had them sign that if you will not use it to learn, I will take back your for the kids. That's terrorizing.
Well, that's part of the I guess the moral persuasion, no? Na
Motivation. Motivation.
Okay. No, it sounds very doable. I'm just thinking out loud because I've also been personally involved in education through alternative means. For example, Project Sparta was an attempt. We got a grant from DOST to do that. 40,000 people enrolled, 10,000 finished. That's greater than all of the data science and analytics programs combined, no? Pero that's obviously online learning, still more traditional than what you're suggesting. So if we can push it to the limit, we can do the exact same thing, but using parang a combined approach of what you did, and then the content. I think content creation din yung bottleneck. We need to create these courses or borrow them from, for example, yung sinabi mo sa IBM, and then distribute them somehow. I've also been active in the BARM region. They're very, very interested to collaborate with anyone. They have a Ministry of Education, they have a Ministry of Science and Technology, who technically don't need to follow the national strategy. They're independent, diba? So yun yung
I'm from Lanao del Norte, Doc. That's why I'm thinking about the BARM. I already told them. We have traditional ALS in Lanao del Sur and Marawi City. But I think that will not work. It's still first industrial revolution pedagogy. We need to prepare kids for the fifth. Otherwise, we will be wiped out from the map, of IT jobs.
Yeah, and people have trouble imagining the near future. For example, even with the fourth industrial revolution, people are struggling with AI. They're struggling with yung games. They're struggling with Minecraft.
Maybe you could show. It's only 5-6 minutes, Doc. The video.
The video. Sure. Let me look for it. Ito yung nasa diba? The one on Viber. Let me look for it.
Kasi mahirap mag-explain. Mas maganda yung may video na eh.
Correct. Dali, let me. Ito. This one.
Okay.
Ito yun. Tama, di ba? This is it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me play this.
We could all agree that the youth of today are digital natives, yes? And because of their familiarity with digital tools and unlimited access to information, do you think they are ripe and ready for this digital age? The results of PISA in 2019, a worldwide assessment of 15-year-old students, show otherwise. Where is the disconnect? The challenge lies in finding ways to reassess and shake up the manner with which we teach. We now share with you the Convergence Learning Project by the Sandiwaan Center for Learning. Supported by the Department of Education through its ALS EST program and with the unstinting guidance of ASIC GH Ambat. Also in partnership with the Development Academy of the Philippines, it aims to reinvigorate second chance education, particularly the ALS, the Alternative Learning System, which is a parallel system for students who do not have or cannot access formal schooling.
Ipagpapatuloy ko po ang aking pag-aaral sa abot ng aking makakaya para makaiyahon ko rin po ang pamilya ko sa kahirapan.
Pag nakatapos po ako, maghanap na rin ulit ako ng bagong trabaho. Dahil ang pangarap po namin is makapunta po sa ibang bansa.
Gusto ko po maging financially stable para matulungan ko rin po yung mama ko na hindi niya na po siya kailangan magtrabaho pa.
The church has recognized that human race has moved from its static to a dynamic understanding of the world. This brought about paradigm shifts. So, the paradigm shifts also dictate that we shift our pedagogies, our methods of learning. That's why we have values-based education programs for marginalized children and the school dropouts. So you light the fire. You do not fill their heads with content that they could Google in 7 seconds flat. And you have to take into consideration that there's already AI and robotics and Internet of Things. And because of the fast changes, the kids are suffering from emotional distress. So how do you teach kids? With very fast changes happening and their brains cannot adapt. How do you educate kids for jobs that do not yet exist? So values-based. Solidarity, integrity, creativity are our values. And how do we propose to do it? Using the tools of AI, robotics, blockchain technology, Internet of Things, and all the tools of the fourth industrial revolution, we seek to enhance thinking skills.
Another key partnership is with the IBM Skills Build, where ALS students are already earning badges and certificates in AI, data analytics, cybersecurity, IT administration, and more. Real-world useful tech skills already at this level.
Ang Sandiwaan Center for Learning gumagawa ng mga paraan para yung mga bata maging attractive sa lessons. Kagaya ng ginagawa ni Father Benigno na pag-digitalize ng mga DepEd modules, no? Mas magiging ganado yung mga bata dahil parang online games na rin, no? Nakikita nila na, pwede naman palang patutuan natin kahit na naglalaro tayo.
The Convergence Learning Project began with training 200 faculty members, handling a pilot pool of 600 grade 11 students, including 100 from Maasin Leyte. The next phase is incorporating the SEL framework, or Social and Emotional Learning Framework, into the junior high ALS curriculum. Students master who they are and map out who they will be. Plus, there are 20 modules on entrepreneurship and online marketing. Even the Sandiwaan Center learning spaces will be converted to house multi-channel tech hubs. 21st century ready both for ALS students and the little ones under the Early Childhood Care and Development Program. Our responsibility as teachers is to think, speak, motivate, and educate in a digital language, so we can connect better with the youth who are gamers, content makers, online editors, and citizens of both a real and virtual environment.
Grabe, that was very inspiring. No?
Kindly ask your members of your networks to share that as much as possible so that we could create a new consciousness for the future, Doc.
Hindi lang yun, Father. I mean, if you ask me, no, I've always been somewhat of a renegade from experience. Whenever I see something new, I think the only way is to go all in talaga. Although, yun na nga parang I think there's a lot of skepticism, unfortunately, with AI at the moment. Maybe na-trauma rin from recent technology trends, especially blockchain and cryptocurrency. So the initial traction for AI, what I'm seeing is it's quite slow, to be honest. Kaya nga I'm very happy to give air to your story. We need more stories like these and encourage adoption. Tapos if I might say so, parang it always requires some sort of a crisis to trigger action. And the funny thing is, parang people don't realize we are already in an education crisis. All the statistics say so. The numbers are slowly confirming it. And I think the reason is parang people think na, we're all happily getting jobs. Anyway, unemployment is steady. I think the moment unemployment starts creeping up, it's too late. But at least we can start with a new trend. This is a new wave. Just to get into the weeds of it, we still have some more minutes. So there's the ALS certificate. Presumably that's based on this traditional parang high school curriculum. Or have they also adopted itong mga bagong skills that you've introduced ng IBM, the cyber stuff? Is that already part and parcel of the ALS? Just to to flesh that out.
Yeah, they have portfolios in the ALS, Doc. It's not, I think 30% already yung mga test. They have portfolios. They submit that to the DepEd, and then they will be given the diploma that they have graduated from junior high school. But the credentials they got from IBM Skills Build accepted by the ALS as part of their portfolio.
No, that's important. That's very important. Kasi parang ngayon, parang in a way, it's a skills substitution. No? We're doing away with, or not necessarily doing away, but we're adopting the new fourth industrial revolution thing. Kasi in the traditional curriculum, wala rin yun eh. It's probably just a token mention, if I might say so. No?
Psychological na nga lang.
Okay, sige, that's one. The second is employability. So this first batch of employees or graduates who will be getting jobs, are they being employed here or by foreign companies?
Now by an IT company of my friend.
Here in the Philippines.
Yeah. We are also waiting for the app because another friend will give us data encoding jobs.
Data encoding, okay.
That's why we're asking the kids to practice their typing skills, though, because they're very good only with their thumbs. You know, you have to type. Even programming, you have to type on the keyboard.
Right.
So, Mr. Dennis Oy, CEO of Convergence, gave us free FiberX connectivity, 300 Mbps for 1 year. He also gave us computer tables and computer chairs, and the DepEd through the DAP will give us 24 of the top of the line computers, and we will use that for the jobs. The older ones, digital equipment, we will use for practicing. But we have new computers that can be used for jobs, even the most difficult. So our only problem now is the brain cells of the kids, whether they could come up to the skills that are needed for data encoding, cybersecurity, data analytics, even if they could not read a book because they will suffer from nosebleed.
And in your experience, broadly speaking, kinaya naman, no, in this program, kinakaya naman nila with all these technical know-how.
I think there's only 20% that's really their brains are made for IT.
Okay.
But they could use it even if they were studied to be chefs. You know, they could download the cuisines from all over the world. You know, something like that. You know,
Yeah.
and
Correct.
even if they go to factories, it's already robotics. You teach them automotive mechanics of the old type. It's all computer boards now. The new cars, it's all computer boards. And without the computer boards, you cannot make the car run. So I think kakayanin sa brain cells ng kids if we teach them the right material. We do not teach them the first industrial mentality,
Revolution.
something like that. You know, that's a world that is slowly disappearing. But
Yeah.
many have the same mental set. That's why we have a lot of problems, because you're not afraid of AI if you have the evolutionary worldview. You have a belief that human beings have to be all that they can be. You know, it's self-transcendence, and machines can help us become even more human. You will not be afraid.
Yeah, I feel nga, ano this is gonna be me a bit philosophical, no? The way we're tracking, there's parang two, I would say, there's two undesirable outcomes with this fourth industrial revolution. One outcome is people will naturally gravitate towards the lower end of the technology jobs. In fact, that's an ongoing story right now where the Washington, I think you've seen this, no? The Washington Post uncovered this story of mga digital annotators, data annotators. I actually think there's two sides to that. Number one, the fact that there's a demand means there's work. I think we just need to professionalize it so that we protect the workers. So that's one outcome. The other outcome as well, and this is not mutually exclusive, the way we're tracking with the education for AI and data science and cyber is it's highly restrictive, highly elitist. So parang we're creating this parang very, very select crop of people who have all of the ideal characteristics, all of the ideal credentials, and parang sila yung ating bagong mga high priests, no? If you think of, pardon the term, no? And only they can participate in that economy. It's highly gate-kept, ang daming gatekeeping. And you see it already. I'm sure you've seen it. And what you're doing is the antithesis of both. No, what you're doing is democratizing technology to a sector that people, as you said, to a sector that people look down upon or look down on, who would normally have no chance in this traditional economy, and then looking to leapfrog that sorry state of affairs and participate in the global economy. That's actually for me, it feels like the more optimal result, where there's no gatekeeping. It's about, instead of scarcity, it's about abundance. Sabi mo nga, it's all about the unleashing human potential and overcoming the unnecessary artificial challenges that we've imposed on ourselves, no? Na just because you don't have a high school diploma doesn't mean you can't participate. And as you said, sabi, some of them already have children. Some of them already have families. So double down yun, no? If you deprive the parents, you deprive the children, and then you repeat the cycle. Talagang we have to put an end to it somehow, no? Or we have to crack a new opening. Otherwise, we're headed in those two directions nga. Na okay, sige, you can participate pero hanggang dito ka lang. Or you reinforce the hegemony of whoever, no? And yeah, I won't talk too much about that na. Sige, I just realized we're at the hour. This has been eye-opening. We certainly should do a second episode. And then what would you like to, maybe as some summary or takeaway that you'd like to leave the audience? And then let's also talk after this conversation separately about how we can help. No? Pero from your perspective, what's a good message that you want to leave everyone given this experience?
What my CEO says from my carpenter from Galilee, he says, Doc, new wine skins. If we could get that through our thick skulls, we will not suffer as much, because there will still be unspeakable misery from climate change and the unending war. But if we have the new thinking to thrive in an uncertain world, and that we have to be, our duty is to be more than ourselves, to become more than ourselves, not only to be all that we can be, but self-transcendent. And our education, our politics, our economic should help everyone in this planet achieve that end.
Well said. And I think yun nga, we have to pave the way for a new thinking. And I'm very, very happy we had this conversation, Father Beltran. And let's do another one very soon, no? Talking about kind of the how-tos. No? Maybe we can deep dive into the nitty-gritty of the curriculum, show people what it looks like. And then your video obviously is part of this podcast already. We'll definitely share it. Yeah, thank you very much. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you very much. So God's blessings on everyone, and to all those who will view this video, God's blessings on you too.